Hey, thank you so much for tuning in today and welcome to my podcast studio. Before we start on today's episode, I just wanted to take a quick moment to say I am truly, truly grateful for you being here. It means the world to me and my guest for us to be able to share our conversation with you. If you do like what we're talking about, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. And if we do talk about something that you either agree or disagree with, please put it in the comments. We would love to hear your feedback. Also, please don't forget, I do a lot more than just podcasts. So every Tuesday, I'll put out a drum playthrough. I'll also documenting my journey on writing my solo album, which will feature a lot of guests that have been on the podcast. I'm also putting up a lot of tips and tricks of stuff that we do talk about in some of the podcasts, like insights that I get from some of the guests that share their journey in the music industry. Once again, thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And again, please don't forget to subscribe. Let's get into it.
Lame.
Yeah.
Well, you can say it now, man. Like, it's all good. We're recording now, so did you like my shirt? Was that it?
I think it's a nice shirt. I think it's it.
It's pretty shit. Yeah, it's actually. I didn't even see the logo, man. But
Honestly, though,
but that looks sick, man.
Why didn't whoever gave that to you should have ironed it first? It was a bit wrinkled there.
Yeah, and not rolled it up and taped it.
Well, I suppose I can't hide my big fat gut. But I look sick, man.
Oh.
Thanks so much for coming in, by the way.
Thank you.
This is exciting for all of us, man, because this is the first time we are checking out the new studio, man. We got the fireplace cranking and everything, man.
We're so lucky.
I know.
It is really nice,
First
though.
time. It is really nice.
Do you like it?
Yeah.
It's only taken about 5 months. So yeah, we better put it to good use now. But there we go.
Are these all pallet slats? Like
They are, yeah.
Yeah.
So they are like a lot of the businesses around here just had a shitload of pallets, and I think in Jay's old studio he had like a feature wall, so he just wanted to try and replicate that in the new studio, and just went overboard really. So a lot of the local businesses just dropped up all their shit and bang, here we go.
Yeah, because I know you can't return a lot of those pallets. The
No,
almost
you
balsa
can't.
wood ones.
You can't return pine pellets. Yeah,
No,
that's right.
it's only Sheps and Loscombe's.
Yep.
Why is that?
Because Sheps and Loscombe's are owned by a company. And you have to put a deposit to get them, but these ones are no deposit needed. You just get them, and then it's your problem to deal with how you get rid of them. So a lot of these companies over here in supermarkets everywhere, anything that comes on those, they're kind of stuck with them. They're like, shit, what do we do? I've got like 50 stacked up at my work.
So if you ever see a red or a blue pallet,
They're worth $100 or $200.
yep, and the company doesn't own it. They're on loan from Shep or Loscombe.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nuts, man.
In your spare time, you should look up what happened to Bunnings when they got found to be spraying certain blue pallets as red to try and get more money back.
Really?
Yeah, they got slapped with a massive fine.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Because you sort of rent them whenever you get a pallet in. You transfer it in to your account or whatever, and I think it's $50 a pallet to hold on to it.
That's nuts, man.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
That's why Shep and Loscombe make so much money.
Yeah.
Far out. Well, all these are free. I don't think we had any money to sort of throw a couple of $100 up. That'd be probably thousands if you look at all the walls we've got in the studio.
Yeah, definitely. Or the chill spot you have out the back there with the pallet little setup.
Yeah. That's
nice.
actually something we picked up on Marketplace for free. Like there's someone just wanted to dump it, man. I think they just wanted to get rid of it. So
there you go.
Yeah.
Asked Jay to go pick it up, some free furniture, man. and again, it sort of mixes well in with the rest of the studio
with the
atmosphere.
aesthetic of the room.
Yeah,
Yes.
look, you just change the name from Oracle to Pine Studio or something.
Yeah, come down here and get you a recycled pallet recording, man. Yeah.
Surely that's a marketing pitch, right? You could be like, yeah, we're fully recycled, recycled pine. That's everything we do.
It's very what's the right, like organic or eco-friendly.
Yeah,
eco-friendly.
Yeah, that's it. Well, again, obviously there is a lot of recycled material here, so we can definitely say
no
that.
IKEA here, mate.
Yeah. But look, again, probably a really cool thing, a really cool way to start would be your new single, which by the time this airs will be out. we've actually, for those that don't know, we just spent a couple of hours recording some stuff for the footage for the video.
Yep.
And that's look. I've always listened to the track quite a bit now, and it sounds absolutely sick.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So, can you give us a little bit more insight on that track and how that came about? Because from what I could understand, it was mostly you.
Yeah, it is mostly you, John.
How
old is the track now?
Oh, that's a good. I think November 2020 is when the first demo of it appeared, and it was just meant to be an ankle-breaking mosh track almost. Like it had hardcore elements. It delved pretty heavily into listening to Alpha Wolf and some similar bands then, so I wanted to just started trying to write something a bit heavy, a bit more punch you in the face kind of thing. And yeah, then I remember I sent you a demo and you were like, "Oh, sick!" Yeah. And then you came around and we gutted it and went through certain bits and changed some rhythms.
A few things, yep.
And then we sat on it for a little while, through the beginning of 2019.
It was 2019. Yeah, you're right. God, yeah, it's over a year old now.
Holy shit.
Yeah, and then so obviously then through the change of vocalists, and we started rewriting some of the stuff and going through it, and then we revisited it. It was originally named James Harden because it's an ankle breaker. That was the working title, and then pretty much, and then
our new vocalist came about and went, "No, I think we're going to call it Warmest Regards." Yeah. And then we just went, "Yeah, that sounds pretty cool."
Yeah.
And then somehow the lyrics just came about, and it kind of sounded like a letter.
Yeah, it's about like change, I suppose. It's deliberately vague and generalized, but it's about change, or just change in general in terms of society, or how we live our lives and stuff. So that's basically what the song's about lyrically. And we just call it Warmest Regards. I think me and John were messaging, weren't we? One day, and we were like being dumb, and we were like sending stuff like that, like being super formal, and then you were like, "Oh, Warmest Regards," and I was like, "Oh, that's a really cool song. Let's call it that." Let's call it that.
It's funny you mentioned change, because how many changes has that song had now? About
Oh God,
4?
Yeah.
Twice before the original demo. Once when we laid down some vocals.
Yeah.
And then once more because our drummer Will was like, "Oh, I'm not too happy with this middle section. Let's change it." So John came up with something. Yeah, it's even better now.
That's right. Yeah.
Nice.
And I was like, "God damn it, Will! How are you going to do that to me?" And then I was like, "Fine." And then literally, I think it was the same day he was like, "Oh, I don't like this section." I was like, "All right, that's how it's going to be." And then sent something really genty and weird to you, and then you were like, "Oh,
yes,
okay."
In which case we sat down and then chopped it some more, and then realized every repetition is different.
Yeah.
And now it's a pain in the ass to learn.
Yeah,
but I think we nailed it.
Yeah, because when we were recording the video in there, I think you were talking about like you had to actually sit down and write out all the frets. So.
Yep, all the numbers. There's a 3 here, there's a 4 there, and then there's a 4 again, and a 3 again, etc., etc.
Meanwhile, I just get to play this nice repetitive lead bit. Yep. I'm happy with that. That's fine with me.
So you wrote most of it, is that right?
Yes, for the most part, yeah.
Yeah.
But then Jordan and I, how we write generally is either one of us will write a riff, and whoever didn't write the riff goes to the other person's house and deconstruct it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And then work through it section by section, being like, what do we like, what don't we like? Then we lay it down. Once we're happy with it, we send it through the guys. We get their feedback on what they think of the riffs. The drummer always hates it because the drums are so simple. Like for that song, the beginning of it, it's just kick, snare, kick, snare. And I remember messaging him and like, "Look, man, I'm really sorry about the drummers. Just try and listen to the riff." But yeah, so for that one, I wrote it, sent it to him. He was like, "Sick." He came around a couple of days later. We gutted it, sent it through the guys. That's just generally how most of the tracks work. Is
right.
One of us writes riffs, the other one comes around and goes, "This is shit," or "This is good," and then we work from there. So this is the first single, Tats and Dads, that had way more changes than that.
Oh, don't, Jesus.
that song's even older, right?
Yeah. That was
even older.
October 2019.
Yeah.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
We sit on a lot of things.
I was just about to say, like, how do you sit on something for that long?
At least we did. We don't really anymore.
Not anymore. We sat on it because of the change of vocalist, really.
Right.
So we weren't sure where things were going, so we just went, we'll figure out what's happening logistically with the band,
Yeah.
and if we can fill all the spots first before we even write or release anything, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think Tats was finished by the time Jordan joined the band. Right?
Correct.
Yeah, and then
Musically, it was finished. Yep.
then Snake in the Garden was sort of done. It was, for the most part, it was done as well. There was minimal changes with that, but then everything after that, Jordan has had significant input in it, or he's allowed to have input in it.
Right.
I wouldn't. Maybe not significant isn't the best word for it.
Don't give him that. He's changed a lot of the lyrics.
Yeah.
Changed
Well,
it to better.
Lyrically,
Definitely.
I'd say, yeah. Musically, I'd just give me a complete song and I'll write lyrics to it. Is how I go.
Yeah. So we're not even sure if he likes being in the band, really.
Yeah.
Or the music. that we play.
But since Tats, lyrically, it's either written by me or I've gone through it with a fine tooth comb
Yes.
and gone. I'm happy with that. But musically, yeah, if it's complete, it's complete to me. But I'm very happy with, I think John's an awesome songwriter and Jolie's an awesome songwriter. So if they come to me with a complete song, I know it's going to be banging. So
yeah, we could.
Yeah.
But so basically, so you don't get the song until it's done, and then you put the lyrics on top.
Well, like how they were saying before, they send it to everybody bare bones, and everyone like pitches in. But I don't really look at it until it's complete. So I won't start writing anything lyrically until I get it complete with drums and bass as well.
Is that to avoid too many changes?
Yeah, that's just how I've always done it. I like to have a complete song so I know exactly what things going to sound like, so I can write my words to it and my phrasing and stuff.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Rather than having something that's not complete and it changes, and then that way the words don't fit anymore, or the phrasing doesn't fit anymore. So that's how I do it.
I heard Maynard James Keenan from.
Could you try again?
Sorry, that's my Siri.
Fucking hell, Siri.
I heard Maynard James Keenan from Tool. He said the reason why it took so long to write the new album is because all the other guys kept changing all the parts and structures and stuff, and he was like, guys, I'm not gonna write any songs or like write any lyrics until you guys decide on something. So he started other projects and stuff. Like 10 years later, here's an album.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
That's fair. I can see how that happens.
Well, hopefully it doesn't take us that long.
But I suppose like Tool must be on a different planet. There must be some serious assets.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
They're really good mathematicians, that's for sure.
Oh, but like some of the stuff is like, how do you write that?
Yeah.
Like it's literally, it's just so completely ballistic, man.
It's kind of like Meshuggah. I was watching an interview with them where they're discussing how they wrote Bleed, and Frederick's just like, he turned up at the house and was like, this is the riff. And then they're like, so what, how do you break that down? How do you play it? And he's like, it just goes like this. Like, how do you write something so complex like that and just be like, this is how it is? Like, I didn't break it down. I didn't try and figure out what the phrasing is. It's just, this is how we play it.
Do you reckon someone just went, more triplets?
Well, the funny thing about Bleed, it's the fact that it gets more and more complex. Like the intro riff, it's pretty straightforward. Like it's just an offset triplet, that just constantly rolls over.
Yep.
But then when you come into the next word, you add that extra one to it, and then you have that crazy free floating part that comes after. I think like the second chorus where you go like.
The drums are like
like whatever. Like I give up. Like,
and did that thing?
Where's my calculator?
I mean, I can't say for certain, but I'm pretty sure from watching their interview, they don't fully understand what exactly they've done. They just do it.
Yeah, I think that is literally a song where I think from what I understand how they wrote that song as well. Like they actually wrote it like they gridded everything out first, and then they learned to play it after.
Yeah.
But I think it's one of those songs where you just have to hear it that many times that you just know it.
Yeah.
Because if you overanalyze that, and the same thing, like if you see people on the internet who are doing like drum playthroughs or guitar playthroughs, stuff like that, it's like, I'm not gonna attempt that. Like, you're just gonna like if you can't feel it. I think it's one of those songs that is just gonna be so incredibly daunting to try and play otherwise, man.
Yeah.
I think one of the examples is the outro for Snake. We mapped that. That was 4-3-3-3-4-4-3-4-4-4-3-3-3-4-4-3-4-4, something like that. And I don't even count anymore because we played it that many times.
Oh, I count every single time.
I do.
But so is that like your strokes or your like your picks on the
guitar?
Well,
da 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 So like 3-4-4, 3-4-4. It's weird. Like our bassist Jared counts it differently.
Yeah, he counts it like 5, 2, 3.
Yeah, he counts it like as in hits, whereas I count bars. So I don't know how to explain it,
and I count groups of. So a group of 4 is 1. And that's why I go 4-3-3, 4-3-3.
Right.
Whereas he goes different to that because he's counting sections. I'm like,
But he plays the same?
Yeah,
it all plays the same. And then Jordan over here doesn't even have to think about it.
Well, what's his classic line? He goes and makes a cup of tea and then comes back.
Yeah, when we first started like jamming that song, I guess. And we didn't even have lyrics to it. It was just we were playing it at practice, and it was like a minute-long breakdown at the end. And I was like, I could just like do a blur, go make a coffee, and come back, and it'd still be going on. It went for that long. I used to call it the meme song. It was just a meme. The whole thing's just a breakdown at the end.
Yeah,
Still is.
But it's a banger. It turned out really good. So.
Yeah, wicked, man. So in regards to sort of moving forward, I think from our conversation before we started here, like you got a bit of content banked up. So are you planning on keep just releasing singles moving forward, or is there?
Funny you say. Actually, the Warmest Regards, what we just filmed, is getting released as a compilation / EP, I suppose you could call it.
Cool.
It's called Process Remedy. Process.
I thought you were about to forget the name of it.
No,
Yeah,
what's
I was about to reach over and slap you.
There's a line in between. I don't know what to call that. Process Remedy, I suppose.
Wicked.
But it's basically a compilation of the 4 songs that we've released since I've joined.
Right.
So Tattoos and Daddy Issues, Warmest Regards, Snake in the Garden, and then we did a special edition Snake in the Garden with Mystique featuring on it.
Oh,
So-
yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
So all those 4 are going to be in a compilation called Process Remedy,
Wicked.
and then from there we continue.
So just on that note, how does it work with Mystique? Because I've seen like she's covering a lot of different, like predominantly like metalcore and like metal bands.
Yeah.
How does that work? Like, did she find you? Did you reach out to her? Or?
Well, we found Mystique on Instagram. How long ago was it now? Probably a year and a bit now.
Yeah, probably a couple of years actually.
Probably a couple of years. And then we just like, it'll be cool to do. And then we just decided that Snake would be the track to do it on. So
because it had the most space for someone else to join and add their parts to it.
Right.
So yeah, then we emailed her and got talking.
pretty much.
Yeah.
We just asked, and she said yes.
And she's lovely. So if anyone
Great person
hears
to work
this
with.
and wants to work with someone who can specialize in keys and synths and stuff, she's great.
Extremely talented, she is.
Yeah, and like she posts so many videos, man. She's really active on YouTube as well.
Yeah. And she's done, the Snake single that we released with her is probably our best one.
Yeah.
At the moment. Like,
oh, really?
Circulation-wise.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because you tap into her network.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. That's fantastic, man. Have you seen like a spike in traffic after that one came out? Like, people that came over to Europe?
In Russia, actually.
Oh, really?
Really?
Funny enough, yeah. Like going down the list is Australia and then Russia and then the United States.
They're number 2, are they?
Yeah, Russia's number 2.
There we go.
Nice, man. That'd be a sick place to tour, hey? Go play some shows
for
now.
sure.
I'd love to play St. Petersburg.
I had the Tempest Rising on a couple of months ago, and had a chat to them about when they were touring Europe. They had some crazy stories, man, from especially from playing in Russia, man. It was just everything got a bit messy.
Apparently, it's a bit of a metal capital there.
Yeah.
It'd be but I suppose like in general, like if you go to Europe, man, everybody's just it's just such a big audience, like compared to just playing Perth or playing Australia, man.
Yeah.
Well, fingers crossed one day, fellas. One day.
I've heard in particular Germany's quite wild.
Well, like in Germany, it's also like there's a lot of people, and it's a massive country in Europe. But yeah, like really, if you go anywhere in Europe, man, like France is big as well, like Holland, Belgium, like the Netherlands, there, Poland, all the Eastern European countries as well, because they just love every time bands would actually come over and play there as well, man. But it's like there's always room for metal.
Yeah.
And again, like from what I can understand, on when Tempest Rising were playing, man, like they had quite a few sold out shows as well, like some big gigs.
Oh, awesome!
Sick.
So I suppose again, it just comes down to like if you get a good promoter, and just go over there.
Well, hopefully,
man. Well, I suppose at this point in time with COVID and everything, it's
Well, hopefully in a year.
Yeah.
When things sort of start going back to normal. I'm not saying we'll tour in a year, but hopefully we can just try for something.
Absolutely. Especially when the vaccine rollout gets up and running properly.
Full swing.
Well, what's your thoughts on the vaccine, though? Because obviously, I've got a very mixed feelings on that, man. Because it's like you hear about all this mutated stuff, and like, is it?
100%. There's microchips in the vaccine.
Oh, right. Okay. So you're on that one. Like,
nah.
put on a tinfoil
sorry.
hat.
Just let me duck down to Woolworths and get my aluminium foil.
Yeah. Look, like honestly, like my thoughts on it is just like, look, unless you're gonna go overseas, unless you're gonna go traveling, it's gonna become almost compulsory for you to enter another country and having it. Yeah. I don't personally see a point in getting it.
Yeah.
But that's also mostly because of the fact that everything is mutating so quickly.
Yeah.
Also the fact that we don't have any COVID in Perth, which is phenomenal.
Yeah.
But also I think also the fact that you know, we obviously not in the sort of the target group to begin with. Like, you know, I consider myself sort of fairly healthy.
We're
still young-ish.
We'd all be stage 4, right? So we at the earliest at the moment we're going to get it early next year, midway through next year, at least going on what the Morrison government said in March. And obviously that's been scrapped. So who knows? We'll be the last group or demographic to get it, given we're all sub 40.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't want to get too political on this, but quickly, shouts out to Malcolm McGowan. Keeping the borders shut.
Absolutely. Yeah, every time I've spoken to other bands, you know, from overseas, and you mentioned that there's no COVID in Perth, they go like, "What?
Yeah,
no restriction, no face masks, no nothing, man. It's so nuts to think about that. This is just such an like Australia now in general is just such an isolated place of the rest of the world. You know, we don't need to wear face masks or like there's live music, and all that stuff. It's nuts, man. Yeah, it's crazy.
And especially when you see somewhere like Texas tries to take on what we're doing at the moment with no mandatory masks, none of that kind of stuff, and they've seen a massive spike in cases.
But you can't like it's the same as Europe, like because you've got open borders, like in the States as well. Like, you know, all the like you can travel in between states. Like you can jump on a plane and fly to another state. Like, and there's too many people.
Yeah, is that 330 million they have?
Yeah, so something like that, like 300 plus. Yeah, and it's the same. Like if you look at Europe, you know, it would be about the same. And when you have open borders, like it's too hard to restrict. So I think you might just have to let it run its course or something like that because you can't contain it.
Yeah.
But that's also like that's again one of the upsides to being the most isolated city in the world.
Well, that's true.
We're sitting here in Perth and just not really knowing anything about the rest of the world.
Yeah, definitely.
And we get to mosh.
Yeah, we get to touch each other.
Okay, John.
Okay. All right, that escalated.
Just made it weird, man.
But again, sort of speaking of concerts as well, man. It's just crazy to see. Like there's so many live gigs. I went to a couple of weeks ago, or was it a month ago? Or something. I went to a carnival 2 nights in a row, and you know, and that was like I think 2,000 people. You know, that's the biggest gig I've been to for like a couple of years. And again, like I took some video and I sent that to some of my mates overseas, and they were like, "Is this even possible? Like, what is this sorcery, man? Is this an old clip?" It's like, nah, man, no, it's right now. Yeah. So yeah, it's crazy, man.
Yeah, we've got. Well, I'm not sure if the other guys do, but there's a band in America, in Atlanta, called Satire. And I messaged them a little bit. We talk a little bit of shit. Cool. And I messaged them and was like, "So how you guys going?" And they're like, "Oh, shit." Basically, and I was like, "Oh, we don't have masks or restrictions," and they were like, "What? Are you joking?" Like, they're like, "We still have lockdowns in place. We can't go to the shops." Like, I'm like, "Yeah, I went to the beach the other day. Like, it was good."
Oh, man, I've got one of my wife's best friends is pregnant. She's in Canada, and apparently they haven't been in the same room with friends and family since August.
Wow.
And God. Like just think about that for a second, because as soon as my wife said it, I was like, hang on, that's what?
Yeah,
that's like over 6 months, man. Like
shit.
And we can always do essential travel. You can still obviously go to the shops and stuff like that, but actually catching up with friends and family. Imagine not being in the same room with your mates or your parents or something, man.
I'm pretty sure the UK only just lifted that as well. You can they can go to the pubs and stuff now, but for the last
is it only outdoor?
Yeah, you can sit in the beer garden, but you can't go inside. There's something like that, and they're not going to have fully lifted till June.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah,
like, it is simply like again, I can understand why people get like
Yeah.
Full on depression, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a crazy long time where like we don't realize how lucky we are that it lasted like
You don't, man.
what did it last for us, like a month, 2 months or something?
Yeah, about 6 weeks or
something like
something.
that,
Yeah.
And you got the crazies out here like, oh, it's a violation of civil rights. I'm like, yeah, but
Yeah,
look
shut
at
up,
the
man.
look at the
Shut
trade
up.
off. Like, do you want to just put them on
Yeah.
a plane to Europe and go deal with what's happening over there? Because it's ridiculous.
Yeah, agreed.
Like you don't realize how lucky you are, and you're taking it for granted. Like a state of emergency for 2 months is nothing compared to being north of the equator. It's ridiculous. Like, yeah, or go live in Brazil where the government doesn't care.
I think it's like that in a lot of countries, especially like if you look in some of the more developing countries as well, where they don't have the correct infrastructure to handle it in the first place.
Yeah.
Like if you look at India again, like it's 1.3 billion people, and it's just again completely nuts, man.
Yeah, have you seen what happened there recently?
No.
So they had a huge festival. They kind of got a handle on it. They were like, cool, everything's good. And then they were like, oh, let's have this huge festival. And millions of people turned up to festivals, and they have seen a through the roof spike in cases.
Of course.
Yeah, no one could have predicted that.
Yeah.
No.
It's just, it's again, no, we should probably change the topic, man. It's fucking too depressing to talk about. Hey,
Yeah. All I say is Scott Morrison is rather lucky that we are lucky that we don't have cases, because I think he'd be copping a lot more flack if we had community transmission. He's been lucky, but I won't make this too political because the other two will hate me for it.
Yeah, he's the resident politician from the band, right, John?
I'm not a politician. I'm just very interested in
A political activist.
Do you want to go into you sort of tweet shit on?
Nah,
No, it's not that bad. Thank God it's not that bad.
no, I'm not. I won't really tweet stuff like that. I've thought about it. I'm like, I should. I'm like, nah. I won't. Yeah, I'm not going to go into it.
But so how about so we could probably shift it over now. We're talking about Twitter and stuff. We could talk about like your social media and like your online presence and stuff. How are you handling that at the moment? Because I remember like some of the last singles you've had, like you seem like you've got everything sort of down packed. Like you got really good release. Like you got banners and really cool logos and everything sort of leading up to the releases and teasers and all that stuff. Who handles that and how do you operate?
So this man over here.
The politician.
Yeah. Well, he knows his stuff, and like he's probably the most talented amongst all of us, to be honest. Like he writes everything, he does all the artwork, and then complains about it. No, but since before John was in the band, it was just me, and I was sort of learning as I went.
Right.
What worked and what didn't work. And then when John jumped on, for probably about the first 6 months to a year, he just sat and watched me fail. And then
I didn't watch you fail. Don't be so critical of yourself.
And then after a while, he just went, you know what? Jordan's probably taken on quite a bit. So, like, this has nothing to do with the musical side of things, by the way. Jordan's probably taken on quite a bit, and he decided to just go, oh, why don't we try this way, try that way? And I'm like, all right, let's do this. Obviously, like, whatever we're doing is only getting us so far. And John sounded like he knew what he was doing, and we were right. He does know what he's doing, so all of that stuff that you see on social media is coming from that brain over there.
Wow. Fantastic, man.
And we all just went, yep, let's do it this way. The first time worked, so...
I do run it past them. I don't just take the reins. Like it is a democratic system.
To put it into perspective, the last EP, well, our first EP we released, at one point we had 13 listeners on Spotify. And we checked, a couple of days ago? 1669?
Yeah.
Something like that. So close to 17.
Because being huge adults that we are, we saw 1669 monthly listeners.
And
there
then
was
made that a
absolutely
thing.
no jokes about 69.
But yeah, and all of that happened within the space of... When was our first release? Was that 6 months now?
Yeah.
Yeah, so within the space of 6 months.
Right.
So whatever we're doing clearly is working, and it's all thanks to him.
But so how do you learn those skills? What are you doing for day job? Is that in the same field?
Oh, I don't have a day job.
Oh, there you go, man.
He's got a night job.
I have a
There
night
you
job.
go. Night job. All right. Is that a thing? So,
Nah.
So what do you do for night jobs? That's
Just roams the streets,
Yeah.
Stands on a corner.
Sell crack. So I don't sell drugs.
Edit.
No, I was working as a storeman for a supermarket, and then I got a shift into management. So I'm the night film manager, and I went back to uni and I'm doing a double degree in business and law, and I majored in marketing. So I'm picking up quite a lot of stuff through marketing through that, and then I'm applying it to this situation here to try and further us, which seems to be working. I'm having fun with it.
Fantastic, man.
Not seems to be working. It's definitely working. We just, as long as we keep pushing, and we keep working for it, I don't see why it shouldn't work.
Yeah.
So what's your so what's the long term projection for the band? Have you got any?
Well, we've got another 6 songs ready. Well, ish, demoing 6 songs and
Don't sell us short.
Well, 7. No, 8.
There's 8 or 9.
There's 8 or 9. Well, there you go. Which we'll sit on for another year and a half.
Hey, we'll have this chat again in 2028.
No, we're 6 songs that we're finishing off now.
Yeah, because I think most of it's tracked. I think guitar wise, everything is tracked.
It's about 80% tracked.
Yeah. Bass 50% tracked.
Yep. And drums about 40.
Yeah,
give or take.
We were just working through the vocals because we don't want to rush vocals. We don't want this to be a rush
release. And someone over here needs finished tracks before he can do anything. So
of course, that makes perfect sense.
But it is giving us time to, like, we might finish a track and be like, cool, that's it. It's demoed. Yeah. It's like, and the demos are, everything else is ready to be sent off for mixing and mastering except the vocals, which gives us time to evaluate the vocals, because most people listen to a song in 2 parts. You hear instruments and you hear vocals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it gives us time to critique the vocals, readdress anything before we start tracking.
Critique the you mean rip the vocalist to shreds?
Yeah.
And then we start again?
He's speaking for himself, not me, by the way.
Yeah, I've had a bit of a lull with the songwriting, fellas. Sorry.
So that again is probably an interesting conversation to have to talk about. Is the actual workflow, because obviously if you guys are recording most of it and then you send it off for mix and mastering, so how do you decide who to work with and whatnot?
Well, the first EP, I found Lance Prank, who does Alpha Wolf, and I think Polaris as well.
Polaris, yeah.
Yep.
And we just went, let's go with him, and he did such a good job the first time. We're like, why? Toss a coin or whatever and just go back to him. So
he's over East, isn't he?
Yes.
Yep.
So he's done the last 4 singles. The last 4, right?
Since Tattoos, anyway. Yeah. So all the songs with me in the band has been through Lance.
Oh, weird.
Yeah. Which is the latest one's coming out on the 11th of May. 11th is the Tuesday. Yes, 11th of May. And I sort of just didn't give the guys the chance to suggest anybody else. I just went, like, he's done us good before, why change it?
Yeah.
And if we go, we don't like this, we don't like this.
And he's happy to tweak stuff,
and he replies almost instantaneously, or at least within 12 hours of us emailing.
He's really good to work with. He's done us a lot of solids.
Yeah, and everything he mixed, as far as what I can tell, has been amazing. From either Polaris, Alpha Wolf, any of the other ones that he's posting through his Facebook page are all really well done. So,
that was again like the last Polaris album. I think it was like phenomenal production.
Yeah.
So he's done a really good job. I actually listened to him on a podcast, one of the URM podcasts. I don't know if you listen to any of those.
Heard of, haven't heard.
But that was super cool, super interesting, because you get like a bit of insight to sort of how it is on the other side of the glass, and like to hear how they work in the studio.
And we couldn't even begin to think or like understand on what he does.
No, and
let him do his thing.
Yeah. But that again, like a very similar thing you hear about, like all those mixes, all the mixing engineers, all the producers, like they almost all of them have the same journey. Like they start out as like being an assistant, or they start out by having this passion for audio one way or the other, and they develop the skill, and then they go work for someone, then they start with smaller bands and build up there. But it's just super cool to hear him, and it seems like such a laid back, such an awesome dude.
He's really easy to work with. I've never had any issues with him at all.
No.
I think at one point, one track we sent back 3 mixes, and he changed it 3 times for us. And like, no worries.
What song was that?
Tats, actually.
Oh, was it?
Tattoos and Daddy Issues, yeah.
If you're listening, Lance, sorry. And also, congratulations on getting engaged yesterday.
Yes.
Oh, we could.
And thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm sure he gets that email back from us, and he's like, "Oh, we didn't like this 3-second section. Can you mix it a little bit different?" He's like, "For fuck's sake!"
And from now on, all the rates are going up.
Oh god.
No, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. So you're talking about you had some new songs coming up. So are you planning on keep releasing them as singles, or are you planning on maybe doing like something? Because that's again like it's such a yes or no, or such a what was I about to say? It's such a different opinion on how to go about it these days. Like, should you release singles? Should you do EPs? Should you do an album or anything? Have you got any opinion on sort of like the right approach to release stuff these days?
I think the last time we spoke about this, we said singles all the way, and I think we've sort of changed our minds now. We're going to do well. We've got the last single coming out, and then I think the next round is an EP, but with singles from the EP.
Yep.
I think we've sort of gathered. I'm not going to say enough momentum, but a bit of momentum to be able to do that now, and it's a 6-track, so if we keep releasing a couple of singles from there, that's more momentum, etc., etc.
Yep.
Before the actual EP drops.
Yeah, so that we have a consistent stream of stuff. So if we'd release this 6 songs, let's say someone finds us and they want to listen to us, they've got 3 plus the special edition Snake in the Garden if they want to listen to it.
Yep.
And then they've got another 6. So it's essentially 10 songs for them to listen to us and critique, as well as the older stuff. But then from that, we release social media and video content to accompany the 6 songs. So that way it gets the user and audience more engaged in what we're actually doing, rather than just being like, here's an EP, go listen to it if you want.
Yep.
Yeah, the way that I see it is, if you don't have that momentum or that following, and you just release an EP with a single, people aren't necessarily going to listen to your whole catalog, your whole release or whatever, if it's just compiled in a big list. Whereas if you release like what we did, release 4 songs, 3 in the special edition as singles with either music videos or lyric videos, or we had the Mystique video, and then the playthrough that we're doing with Warmest Regards. I guess it sort of gets people's attention, I suppose, and being consistent with, here's another song and another video and another song and another video, and you get people's attention. But then after you've got their attention, if you go onto Spotify and they want to check us out, it's a pain in the ass to listen to all the singles because they're all individually listed, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's not all in one list, one after the other. So that's why we compiled it.
Yeah.
That's why
we like being convenient, don't we, fellas?
So that's why we're compiling them when we release Warmest Regards. So it's going to be a list of 4 all together.
Yeah,
so that's all of our work together.
Yep.
So I guess there's arguments for and against, but it's definitely easier for people if they want to check you out on Spotify. It's easier through an EP to listen to you. But if you don't have any audience or no one knows who you are, singles are better, because then you've got that content that that's engaging to people.
Well, I suppose it's almost like the chicken and the egg, isn't it? Because again, like how I feel about it, and this is my personal opinion, is if I find a band I really like and I say, "Whoa, this is a sick song," and I go in and like, "Oh, it's the only one, damn it!" I don't want to sit and wait. Like, so you constantly got to, there's a new single coming soon. Okay, I gotta wait. And then the new single comes, you go, "Oh, that's sick too." Oh man, like you just like if you really really get pumped and excited about a band and there's no content, you go like, damn it. Whereas I think, my personal opinion again, I think if you had like an EP at least or an album out there, then you can still recycle that and just put a single out and put a single out. So because every time somebody finds it doesn't matter if that album is 10 years old, it's new to me, you know what I mean?
Of course.
So if you have that extra content, like you can just completely just chew it up, you know what I mean? And the cool thing for me, and again, like I said, personal opinion, if you have an album, like for me, that's like going, if I go to the gym and I do a gym session and it's a good album, that's a whole album. I can chew through an album.
Yeah.
And how many times do you get in the car and you're like, well, I wouldn't mind listening to the second track again. You end up just hitting refresh and go to the top of the album again. Yeah.
So if it is a single, it's just loop, loop. And then, actually, I'm going to listen to something else now. But if you had a whole album, you'd probably chew through it. Like every time I drive here in the morning, it's about half an hour, 35 minutes to my house.
Yeah.
So that's about an album length.
Yeah.
But what I do actually, I listen to a lot of podcasts as well. So I can usually chew through one on my way here and back. So if you half it up, like most podcasts are like an hour and a half or something.
Yeah.
I mean, is that something you guys were thinking about doing as well? I see more and more bands now starting podcasts as well due to the whole pandemic and no gigs and stuff.
Well, not really, because I don't think anyone's interested yet. Like, if Northlane's got a podcast, and I've heard a couple of episodes, and that's good because it's Northlane, you know. You want to know how they do this or how they do that, and what they've been up to, etc., etc. But I don't think for a local Perth band at the moment, us mainly.
Well, you could do something else. You could do something that's not. You could do some political podcast. Like you could do something that has nothing to do.
Well, yeah, that's true.
With the band as such. Like you could, like you know, I'm thinking out loud. Like you could have something coming in and you talk shit about the footy, or you do something else, so it becomes almost like entertainment. Or it could be something again where you analyze, like you listen, you talk about other bands and their releases, so again to engage with their audience or something like that.
Yeah, that's true.
So there's always other formats to do it, and I suppose like one of the biggest ways to increase your audience is similar to what you did to Mystique, like you collaborate with other people because you tap into their audiences.
I think we'd rather do that. So work with.
I don't know. What about a Twitch stream where we all verse each other?
Yeah, that's
PvP. I'll 1v1 me with FIFA, bro. Let's go.
If you guys want to do that, I'm happy to do that. I mean, if you're going to play a sport game, then I'm out.
Yeah, obviously. Jordan and I will play sport games, Formula 1, racing games.
You know what I think is a really cool idea that I've seen like Craig Reynolds doing and stuff? Twitch streaming his drum practices.
Yeah.
Like a drum streams. Well, yeah, I'm assuming there would be. But like, especially for, you know, while you're in lockdown, I think it's a really cool way to, you know, you're practicing anyway, you might as well stream it. People are going to be chatting to you, commenting on, you can take song requests. I think it would be a really cool way. Even for us, we could do it. You don't need an audience on just Twitch. Just go live, and then practice drums or practice guitar, and you know what I mean?
I think Invent Animate did that as well. They had a entire Twitch stream dedicated to help us write a song. So then they would come down, write a riff, get feedback from them, and they'd be like, all right, we're good to move on. And then they did something like that, which was cool to watch. I watched a condensed version of it on YouTube. It was interesting, and there's a lot of shit talking involved. A lot of shit talking.
I think the thing with that, though, I mean, the ideas are all good, but we are also not in lockdown.
Yeah. but the rest of the world is.
Yeah, that's true.
A lot of the world
I think it's more finding the time for us to do it.
Yeah.
As opposed to the ideas.
Yeah.
Because like you both have had good ideas just then. But yeah, it's finding the time to do it.
Nah, you just don't want to get your cheeks clapped playing Destiny.
Not really. I get it clapped all the time anyway.
And I guess the money involved in streaming, especially if you're streaming like music wise.
Yeah.
You need to mic everything up or whatever you need to do, you know.
Yeah.
So it's getting that gear. Yeah.
It's actually not that bad. Like again, I was about to. It probably comes down to like, you know, the format you want to do it in. If you want to stream like freaking 4K or something like that, you know, like if it's just your normal HD or less. Like everything I did back in the, you know, last year when I was live streaming everything, it's run off a normal internet connection and through this little setup I have here. So this is just, you know, a normal laptop. Like it's obviously not the cheapest laptop, but it's certainly not the most expensive either.
Yeah.
Good reliable internet connection, which, you know, pretty much everybody has these days through NBN, and then just, you know, like a little audio interface, USB, hook that in, and bang, like happy days. That's really all you need.
All right, Jordan, that's your next job, mate.
There you go. Boom.
Yeah. What am I going to do?
Take notes.
Scream Twitch streams.
No. Set up the Twitch streams, and then we'll take over.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
And another, I suppose a really cool thing as well is like here, because there is no lockdown, you can all be in the same room, so it can actually be a lot more engaging
rather than having 4 laptops, 4 webcams.
I mean,
it's doable with one.
To be fair, we talk enough shit at practices that if we streamed a practice, it'll probably be pretty entertaining.
And we'd never play live again.
But that's the thing, man. But honestly, like what you just said there, imagine if you were a fan of the band, or even if you weren't a fan of the band, but you know, that's like you found a song and you go, oh, I want to check these guys out, and then, oh shit, it's a common thing. Like they actually stream all the jams. It's like, wow, you can actually go in, you can listen to some of the new songs and listen to all the band, and we go, fuck that shit, that's a fucking shit riff, man. But like whatever you guys talk about. But then again, it'll be super easy to set up. And again, and that again is a really easy way to be consistent.
Yeah.
Because if you do rehearse, say, I don't know how often you rehearse, but a couple of times a month, then or once a week, or however often it is. But at least, you know, it's going to be frequent. So it's not like something is out, and you wait 2 months, and something else is out, and something like that.
Plus, incentive for us to actually practice before we get to it.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, obviously, like everything I have right here, like you can do it through that. And I've actually seen people that are just tethering the internet off their mobile phone. It's actually faster.
Yeah, actually, I think my phone's probably more reliable than my NBN at the moment.
So that again, like could be an idea.
Yeah.
But
well, if everyone had a PC, we could do a 5-man Destiny thing. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Going back to the gaming.
Hey, we all play games, mate. All right. Actually, so do you. What are you talking about?
Not on PC and not Destiny.
It's because you're a Mac user.
Oh, well, then you can put a little webcam over in the corner, so looking over your shoulder or something.
Yeah. we can cut back to him every now and then. It's just him by himself playing FIFA against a bot.
Again, another cool idea I wanted to try and do at some point now after I've got this setup finally up and running is to try and actually like have a whole day where you bring a couple of different musicians down from different bands. And you start early in the morning, so it's like 8 o'clock. You have a coffee, and you just you stream the whole day where you write a song from start to finish. So you're saying, look, we're gonna put 12 hours on the clock.
Wow.
But you're gonna write a song, you're gonna rehearse it, and you're gonna record it, and you're gonna release it within
that's pretty cool.
12, 13, 14 hours. So you say if you start in the morning, you say by midnight, it has to be online.
That's a good idea.
Oh shit!
So I think that would be a super cool experiment. And again, because we have 3 rooms, so so there can be people in here, there could be someone in Jay's room, and there can be someone in the live room.
He's smart, by the way. He's bought this up on a podcast. So if anyone steals it, it's like, nah, I came up with it first.
Yeah,
hey.
well done.
well, it's something both me and Jay has spoken about, because obviously like a lot of bands are coming or will be coming through this ecosystem now. Obviously,
definitely.
You guys are my first, so this is wicked. Woo! But Jay has already had 10 bands through or something.
Yeah.
But so this will be like this creative hub of music, really. So it'd just be wicked, especially now we don't have any lockdowns. Like you can actually get people down and say, look, and again, if it works once, you can do it again and again.
And it helps the community network as well.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. 100%. And again, it's something that would be interesting for anyone to watch as well, because you can literally create something from nothing, because you put people together that may or may not have played together before, may not even know each other.
Yeah.
And you can pick different genres. So again, so you guys are more like the metal, the metalcore industry, and you could pair you with someone who plays like blues or rock. So you put different genres together, but everybody has to write a song.
Sign me up. Sign me up as soon as you're ready to go. Sign me up.
I was going to say that too, but then it would limit it to be metal, because I have limited skill set.
It's a blues song, and you're singing about your woman left you.
Again, I mean that as I said, like you could do it over and over again. So you could easily do a metal song.
It'd be a pretty cool mashup.
Metal and blues.
You could scream over a blues track. That'd be interesting.
Otherwise, look, I'm always up to do some collaborations on the side. Again, like that's the main reason why I've got this room. Again, is simply for me to be able to collab a lot easier with other people as well.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah,
that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yep. And again, it's also something that would be super challenging. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Because you have to be sharp, and like you have to be on your A game.
If I did it, it'll just be noises. Because of my effects, that's all it'll be. In fact, we've stopped doing that because I've held back quite a bit.
This boy loves his half diminished sustained 4 chords. He loves it. You'll actually hear it in the new track. There's a sweep involved with it.
That wasn't me.
That was you.
I saw. Actually, I think this is something I picked up on when you guys went there. Like you play on 8-string guitars.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So, but you only really use like what, 2 or 3 strings?
Yeah, we're just ambitious.
Yeah, it's just there for show. We could have turned up with 6 strings, but it doesn't look as cool.
Yeah,
right. But they're like you need super big hands, right? To
I think one of the reasons why we did it is because we started off with 7s before John joined the band, and we're like, oh, this is low enough, it'll be all right. And then along comes John with his 8-string.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? That's lower.
Yeah.
That's better.
I remember
Bigger and better. I gotta top that.
we had an old song named Dissimulation, and there's a breakdown bit at the end, and you really slow down, and it's just kind of trying to smack you in the face with it.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, Jordan, you do your weird effects and let me play it on the fat E string. And he was like, all right. And we did it, and we're just like, oh, okay. And then I swear, like a month later, he's like, I've got an 8-string.
No, dude, because at the time, but when John first joined, it was very chuggy and effects based. Because I had the traditional pedal board, and it was just made up of one pedal which I really needed, and everything else which I didn't, but just made weird noises.
I was like, where are you going with traditional pedal board? You had like 400 pedals.
Yeah, well, whatever, traditional. And there was about 8 pedals on there, which I didn't need. It was not essential at all, apart from maybe the noise suppressor. But everything made a weird noise, and I just loved weird noises. I was a bit of a Tom Morello fan growing up, so I was like, oh yeah, if I can get this close to being like him, I'll do it. So the first EP had a lot of weird noises, and Dissimulation, the track you were talking about, had an effect. It was a delay pedal that I don't know if there was something wrong with it or it was just the way it's supposed to be, but it made dubstep noises. It just went whoop 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 as I was turning the dial, and that became like a section in the song. It was like a lead section in the song, and that's where he decided to put the fat E string on there.
Fat boy in there.
And it was a dubstep section. It was great.
Nice, man.
And then we stopped doing it.
But so technically, like, couldn't you just have a 6-string and just have a like
me
dropping?
for sure?
Yeah,
because I don't really play as much as I make noise.
Because I know Jay has a 6-string that's in Drubby. That they can only really use the one string when they're playing.
I mean, for a lot of our verse and chorus sections,
we use the rest of the strings.
We do use the rest of it. Like Tattoos and Daddy Issues, the main chorus part has a tapping part which covers 5 strings.
Right.
So it does get utilized, but for a lot of the breakdowns and heavier parts, yeah, we definitely do.
I think one of the reasons why we decided to and stuck with 8 strings is the option. Like, we could play a blues solo section in standard E, and then literally the next beat drop E.
Yeah.
If we wanted to, and it's just the option. Like, we can do it if we want to, kind of thing.
I think for us using it, it was probably most prominent in the song called Ward D. Right. So most of it is based around the 7th to the 5th string for a lot of the song. We actually don't use. We use the E for one little section.
Yep. It's
kind of like build up momentum, and then hit the audience in the face with this dun 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 dun.
Because the lower you hit him in the face, the better.
Yeah, and then there's a bridge part after a breakdown where we play this jazz kind of progression, and then there's another just glitter tapping piece which just starts on the highest string and finishes on like the 5th string, and it's just there for flavor. So we're having that option to be able to go, we want to add something extra to it, which may not be a main part, it may not be a point of emphasis, but we wanted to have that kind of like, we can write whatever we want.
Right.
Yeah, mainly because, I mean, for me personally, it was watching Tosin Abassi play an 8, and I was like, yeah, I want that. I want the ability to be able to learn stuff like that.
And I suppose technically we can play in drop A and drop E.
Yeah, so how we have our
without having to change guitars.
Yeah, fair point.
This is just going straight up here.
Yeah. I'm just zoning out over here.
The screams come in.
But so how do they go for tuning? Because obviously there would be a massive difference in the thickness from like the top.
Not so much for you. Yeah, I think you run an 80 on top, don't you?
Yeah.
So
I mean, I wish I could run heavier, but I can't. I think it's probably not that much of a difference for you with the 6 strings. It's just a 7th and the 8th. Right?
No, it was just the 8th.
Just the 8th.
So my 7 is a 64. My E, my top one, is 105, which is basically a
bass string,
G string on a bass.
Yeah.
But that was mainly for clarity of notes when I'm starting to do a bit more stuff up there.
It doesn't get as wobbly.
Right.
Yeah, and also my Ibanez is not one of the greatest Ibanez's made, so intonation wise, it needs to, like, I could probably put 130 on there, and that would have made it in tune. But it wasn't up until I took it to ProFret to get it set up properly that it really ever got in tune the whole way along the fretboard. And I could go back to an 80 now, but I'm like, nah, the 105 is kind of nice.
You get used to it, I suppose.
Yeah. It's nice when I go, I'm playing along, I'm like, oh yeah, this is nice, and I get to that 8.
Of a bass, really. Like
Yeah.
The thin bass string, like that'd be thick, especially on a guitar.
Yeah.
fretboard.
And I'm starting to learn to thump with my thumb, like doing bass techniques on it. So having the 105 on top is kind of nice to learn and assimilate in that.
Whereas
direction.
if I thump, I hit 3 strings at the same time because they're all pretty much the same.
Yeah.
And I suppose tuning wise, like we don't even play in standard per se. It's EA, so we've technically got 4 strings.
Yeah, we dropped,
which is in the same tune.
From a standard tuning of an 8-string guitar, you have an F sharp and a B on the top. So we've just dropped those down a tone, and then to replicate having a 6-string in the middle of it, so strings 7 to 2 are actually just a 6-string guitar in drop A.
Right, so you just play E, A or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
So we have the options to either play standard drop A or double drop.
For you guitar nerds out there,
Yeah.
if you want to save money on guitars, get an 8 and then do that.
And then if we ever wanted to play a proper standard as you would on a 6, and with it being E, A, D, G, B, E, all you have to do is tune up the F sharp to a G, and then you just transition what you were playing upper string, and then it's just a standard.
Yeah, so we
standard
don't. Yeah,
guitar.
we don't even have a G. Yeah, a G string.
Yeah.
We have F sharp. Yeah.
Nice, man. So you mentioned that you bought yours because of Tosin Abasi.
Yeah.
Is because he's from Animals as Leaders.
Yes.
How's your influences? Is he a big influence of yours?
I would say now.
Personally, yes, definitely. He's always been huge.
Okay.
I found him before I listened to Periphery, before Misha Mance, all of those kind of guys. It was him, and I was like,
wow.
I remember watching. I put a couple of EMG 808Xs in my guitar, and I got white ones specifically so I could have a sort of replica of what he played in his Wave of Babies video for EMG. Mate, honestly, I've been after those pickups for ages, and I've spent $450 just getting them shipped from California. I did it in the middle of COVID too, so it took him about 3.5 months to get here.
He was so happy when he got it.
Oh, I was stoked.
He was like
so
a child.
Happy. Yeah. But yeah, for me personally, at least Tosin Abasi, it may not translate in our music, but just what he can do is just ridiculous, and his ability to apply himself to, like, I want to learn how to do this. A week later, it's like, I fucking mastered it, and I'm doing stuff that no one else has ever seen before. Like,
I know, what an asshole.
Yeah.
This might be a rhetoric question, but have you got his plugin?
Oh no, I don't.
Oh really?
I don't have his plugin.
I was expecting it. Yes.
No, I think that's the one thing that we don't do. We've never bothered just diving into, like, say, him and Tosin, like, we don't, this is a plugin from Tosin, like, we need to get this.
Yeah.
We I think we've got line 6 helixes, so he's rebuilt his own tone. I've done mine about 7 or 8 times now, because I'm never happy with, well, I wouldn't say never happy, but I'm always like, sounded better last week, but I don't like it this week, so I'm changing it.
Because I was like obviously Neural has, I don't know if you've probably seen them put out the quad
Neural
DSP,
DSP,
like that. I was like I need someone to get that so we can
so I
play
can play around with it. Yeah,
because that looks so cool, man. I've got his plugin. I've got the Tosin Abasi's plugin on my Pro Tools.
I've watched a lot of videos on it,
and it's like, and I mean, I haven't used it that much, but damn, you can do some like all those cleans. You know, there's like big reverby stuff. I know you can do that on the Line 6 anyway, but yes, it's a, like, everything Neural comes out with pretty much is unreal, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Didn't they just release a new one as well, or a huge update? Like, I saw something flick through on Twitter, and it was
they've got a Meshuggah one, don't they?
I think I don't know if the latest one they got one for Gojira.
Yeah, that's right.
That'll be the one that
and they released
thinking.
the new Parallax version 2.
I think the only Neural
right?
DSP one I would get is Corey Wong.
Really?
That's he's so funky, man.
His guitar tone, man.
Wolfpack.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Ichiko, the guy that plays with Tim Henson. Well, no, he doesn't play in Polyphia with Tim Henson, but he plays that kind of music.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Name escapes me.
Oh, that's some funky tones. That's some funky tones.
But again, nothing that you couldn't if you dived in deep enough.
Of course.
Yeah.
Get
Yeah.
from the helix.
Yeah, exactly, 100%. And again, like you obviously like you should never try and replicate others. Like if you do,
Yeah.
if you do,
And that's
really
one of the
wanna
main
create your own
reasons.
tone.
I don't want to sound like anybody else,
Mm.
and I don't think
Yeah.
you do either.
And it's just so much fun diving into like starting with a blank template and being
Yeah,
like,
For sure.
like I know what core elements I need to make a tone. Like I need to have the gate here, the compressor needs to sit at the end, that kind of stuff. But then, then just going through and being like, oh, this pedal works better with this amp and this position of microphone according to the line 6. And like, if I started getting all the plugins, I would never leave the house ever. I'd be like, I got this with this one, but could I do it with this one?
I spent 3 hours of my turn on Tuesday. The house was empty. It was great. Just plugged my amp in, cranked it up a little bit as a slave,
Yeah.
and then was like, "Oh yeah, this sounds good." Put my headphones on. No, not good enough. Start
But
again.
But on the line 6, can't you get that? What is it? It's almost like a MIDI guitar or something, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like,
The Variax.
Yeah,
Yes, you
yeah.
can.
That's
Yeah.
one.
In fact, if we had a Variax and a line 6, we don't need 8s because each string can be tuned however you want it because it's MIDI.
Yeah, I was just about to
So
say
you could do that. Push a
you never
button.
need to worry about tuning it in the first place.
Yeah.
Yep. Imagine that.
Have you tried those? Because
I've seen those.
I've only heard of them. Like,
I've seen them.
It's this mythical creature.
In fact, I think Mega Music had one a little while ago. But I wouldn't bother with it. I don't. I just think if it's a guitar, like drums. If you play MIDI, I suppose there's give or take with that. But it's a guitar.
Yeah.
Like if it's
way of the future.
yeah, but if it's a MIDI guitar, like we already have enough people pushing buttons to entertain people. Talking about
Yeah.
DJs, by the way.
But you're still playing it. Like it's still you playing it. Like for
Yeah.
instance, I'm writing an album at the moment, or recording an album at the moment. All the drums on that album is me playing,
Yeah.
but it's on my hybrid. So I've got a hybrid kit at home, which is
Yeah.
a real kit, but it's got triggers everywhere. So
Yeah.
I literally play MIDI. So I sit and do all my post production in MIDI. So again, it's
Yeah.
my velocity. It's my
Yeah.
it's my feel to it.
Yeah.
But you do the same post production as you would if you'd played it in a real studio.
Yeah.
But that again, I'm fine with that because again, I think it's in many ways I reckon it sounds better, and it gives me way more edits like in post production if you want to change the sound and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well,
definitely.
actually, saying that's what we did with the last 4 singles with
Yeah,
drums.
that's what
anyway.
Will does, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're probably going to change that, but I don't know. With guitar, it's just I think I'm a bit of an elitist. Like, if it's not coming from the guitar, like the wood and the pickups and everything like that, then it might as well be a keyboard. Same thing.
Yeah, but it's arguable because I suppose like if it is still you playing it, if it's still your pick pattern and your like how you work the guitar, I understand that obviously you get tone from the actual guitar as well. So if you have the right,
but you also get tone from the way you pick. Doesn't matter what guitar. I don't know. I just think MIDI's. I understand that it's the way of the future, that kind of thing, but
at the same time, like everything retro is coming back. Like people are buying cassettes now and like some vinyls and.
I should have kept my pedal board. Probably would be like 10 grand in the next 10 years or so.
It'll probably come back. Like it's the same as like you see people buying the old mobile phones as well, like the old Nokias and stuff.
Yeah. I guarantee you they still work as well.
Oh, dude, I almost wish I had one because like when you got a smartphone, I find it so hard to put it away.
Yeah.
And just do like I did it today because I really needed shit done. So I literally put it away, put it on flight mode, just put it on charge, and put it over in the corner. And I said to myself, I cannot check it until I have lunch.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's crazy if you don't do that. Like it's constantly in your pocket. It's burning. It's like, check me. Yeah, look at me. Something has happened on Facebook or Instagram. You must know about it.
Yeah,
it's like it's scary, man.
Yeah, I've started turning off all my notifications for all the social media. It
Same.
only appears if I open it.
Exactly, but you open it. I do.
I think I check Facebook once a day before I go to bed, and that's it. Instagram, all the time.
But see, if you had an old school piece of shit Nokia, like an old 3210 or whatever we all had, 15 years ago or something. You know what I mean? Like,
are you familiar with what that is?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I just wanted to check.
I think I had one as well. A hand-me-down.
Did you ever play Snake 2, like the original?
yeah.
I know.
Where you had to push buttons.
Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to check because he is pretty young.
Yes.
Thanks.
How young are you?
25.
25. That's all right.
Funny story. My first gig I played in Australia, he was still in primary school. Yep.
Oh, shit.
Yep. I feel really old.
Well, what are you, 36, 37?
30. Shut up. It's only 30.
30?
Yeah.
Wow, I feel like the old guy in the room, man. I'm 43, man. I'm almost 43.
Really?
Yeah, but I know I look so young. I know. That's fine.
I'm honestly genuinely. I thought you were like 30, 35. Like,
I'll take it.
Yeah, no, I think
You're
once,
always welcome back, by the way.
thanks.
I think once you hit 30, anything below your actual age, just take it. Don't
Yeah.
even correct anybody. Just take it.
Have any of you guys got any kids, by the way?
No.
I have 2 cats.
2 cats.
They're not kids, but just wanted to say that.
All right, Karen.
No, I don't think any of us are thinking about kids just yet.
Well, you're still young.
Actually, I'm the only one that's married, so
Yeah. You're right.
yeah, and I'm not even thinking about kids.
But is that in the cards? Any of you thinking about starting a family eventually?
No, I
I haven't thought about that yet.
No, I want to see how far this band goes.
That's the way.
Like
That's
musically, I mean, if I start a family now and say the band kicks off in a year or two, then then I'll have to choose, and I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Like I think I gave up music once years ago, and I don't really want to do that again. Like
What happened?
I just work got in the way, and I just chose work over because I'm a chef as well, and chefs work nights.
Yeah.
So I started cooking, and then I got good at it, and then I started getting more shifts, etc., and then my old band sort of fell apart, and I never picked it back up. I never tried to glue it back together. And the only thing good that came out of that band is our current drummer. Actually, he played in my old band, our old band, and when we decided to start, I decided to start Icreatedamonster, I just went, oh, he's not playing in a band. I know him, so I asked, and he's like, yeah, cool. And now I think we've got probably one of the tightest drummers around.
Wicked.
Was that Carnage Begins?
It was Carnage Begins. I don't want to say the name. Thanks, John.
Why? Why not? Why not?
Because the name came from a comic book character. Pretty much.
Wait, from Spider-Man?
From Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Big Spider-Man fan.
So I'm curious to get your opinion. Sort of what made you come back to music? Like what made you start a band?
The job that I was working, the chef job that I had, there was a couple of musicians that worked as a dishy. Actually, no, they were both dishies. So they're putting plates in dishwashers for every night, and we just got to talking. One of them played guitar, one of them played drums / could sing a little bit, and we're just like, well, why not? And then when the drummer moved to try to do vocals full time, I got Will in and found our bassist, funny enough, through his brother, who I worked with, in a kitchen. And then I went, well, let's give this a shot again. And eventually I got out of the kitchen and started working 9 to 5 jobs, and I had my weekends. So all the nights, anytime I wanted to jam, I could. And it just got to a point where, I know I can push this music thing now because I have the time and all that. So I just went for it. And then when it kicked up properly, I just decided I just don't want to give up music, because choosing between the two loves, I guess, because they both clash, they're both night jobs, weekend warrior type thing, and I just went, I'm not gonna give up music anymore, so I can work the rest of my life around it and go from there.
That's awesome, man.
Plus I got these guys now, and I don't really have to write anymore because they do most of the work. Don't you, Jordan?
Yeah, man.
Nice.
Yeah, I get some credit finally.
And what? But in regards to to make music your first priority. So is that something like? Are you all sort of pushing towards to take the band a bit further?
I think we're all sort of pushing in the same direction. I don't think we're all on the same level, because we don't. We obviously
have different. Yeah, you have different priorities,
and we don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But I don't have any doubt that if, say, tomorrow we get a call, I don't think any one of us will go, oh, maybe not. I think we'll all jump on it.
Everyone's trying to take it as far as we can.
Yep.
Is what we're saying.
That's awesome.
Nobody has a pub band mentality.
No.
If that makes sense.
No. I don't want to play to 20 people. I want to play to 20,000.
Yeah.
Nice.
And however long that takes, I'll do it, I suppose. I mean, if I can't play anymore and I've got arthritis or something, then we'll just get another guitarist and I'll sing. It's fine.
And then it'll be the manager or something.
Oh, yeah.
But look, that's awesome, man. So just gotta make that happen.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, and one of the reasons why I gave him so much credit is because he's making it happen. However small, however large, for now, but we're moving. We're not just sitting there going, "I'm in a band. What have you done?" Nothing. We have done something. It's all been in the last 6 months or so.
We have the momentum.
Yes,
Yep.
we do have the momentum, and I don't intend on cutting it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going back into the kitchen, and at the same time, the first thing I said before they hired me was, I have 3 bands. They will take priority to a certain extent.
Yep.
So if I have a gig in a month, I'll tell you today, I can't do this day, and even if the gig gets cancelled, but I'm still taking the day off.
Okay.
Because like if that's for music, then that's for music.
And your employer was good with that?
Yeah, well, so far.
Yeah.
I don't think he has a choice. Like, I'm quite happy to move on to something else if that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
I think he'd be fairly understanding as well, right?
Yeah, and I mean, I'm telling him from day one. So
Yeah, exactly. I was exactly the same back in the day when I was playing full time. Like, and music was everything to me.
yeah.
And as you said, as long as you're just being upfront and just saying,
And I'm not saying like it's gonna take over my life, because it doesn't. Like the last 3 months or so, it has not at all. But music will always be the second love. I have to say my wife is the first, just in case.
yeah. but we probably can't compare it the same way. Like, it's a very different, a very different
exactly.
love. Yeah.
Like I'll never stop playing music. And it's like gaming. I'll never stop gaming. I'll be a 70-year-old streamer. You watch.
But so just before we round it off, so in regards to like the future and stuff, obviously you've got some new singles coming out and everything else. But where do you sort of see yourself in, say, the next 2 or 3 years?
Go on, Jordan.
Yeah,
You're
go on,
Mr.
mate.
Vision.
Go on.
Me?
You're Mr. Vision.
Because you have the best accent.
You have more.
Yeah, wicked
Go on.
accent, by the way.
Yeah.
I love it.
Thanks.
Make all the ladies go.
I get the hardest question of the podcast.
Yeah, you do.
Well, put
The
it.
pressure
Now,
is
do
on.
we sound really arrogant by over-explaining everything?
No, I
Or do we play it low?
No,
Put it this way.
Just be honest. Just be like, this is what I want to support Metallica, man.
You have the most time
Hey.
with this music thing because you're the youngest.
Yeah,
Like,
fair.
I could bow out 10 years from now with 4 kids.
Oh, he's got 5 years on him. Is that it?
Well, there you go.
In the next 5 years?
It doesn't even have to be that far, mate. You can do 2, 3 if you want, whatever.
That's boring, isn't it? It's probably
Alright, 5
the
years,
same. I'd hope to be a household name in 5 years in Australia. Like, I want, Triple J interviews us. We're on feature albums.
And not local household names.
Yeah, like Australia wide, like a Thornhill. They're quite a new band. That's a good story actually. Can I tell that story?
Go on.
North Lane's national tour. When was it? One of their national tours. I think it was for Alien.
Is this his flex story?
No. And every gig they played, every city, they had a local support. My old band, Once Almost Never, was the Perth local support for that tour.
Our old band.
It was. Oh yeah, he was in it too. But not in that time. Not at that time.
I wasn't.
Error, North Lane, and another band from America. I can't remember. We played Perth. Thornhill was the local support for Melbourne, or wherever they're from.
Yeah, I think so.
They got signed to Unified.
Because of that show.
And
Really?
Is that what you said?
well, I think so.
You think so?
They got signed pretty soon after they played that. So they obviously had scouts there or whatever. So they got that, and we got nothing, and I'm sorry about it. We're in the same position.
But
3 years ago.
But I suppose like, I don't know the backstory. I don't know the band either. But it probably also comes down to like how much of a name you had by the
exactly.
at the time. Because I don't think very many bands these days get signed just because they're great. It's like fresh out of the bush. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, look how long it took Alpha Wolf.
Yeah.
It took them a long time.
I was actually on their Spotify today, and their first release is still on there, from 2016, I think it was.
Yeah.
And when
sure there's stuff before there.
there's probably is,
Yeah.
but I think the earliest release on the Spotify is 2016 or 15, and they've only blew up 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Yeah, I think
Properly?
Fault Mono. I think Mono got them Australia wide recognition, but Fault kind of, and when they went to Europe and Southeast Asia, was when they took off.
But I suppose that again also just comes back to the fact that you just got to be consistent. You just got to keep pushing, keep being, again, like same as you guys, keep putting out singles and keep putting out content, like keep putting out material and being like stay relevant.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's one of the reasons why we decided to do the 4 singles from the start is to do that.
It's also why we took from October 2019 to November 2020, just making sure we had a good foundation for the next year and a half.
Yeah, and when we made so many mistakes before that, or I made so many mistakes before that, because I was also learning as I was going, and that's one of the reasons why I'm glad that he decided to step up and help. Actually, not even help. We do this together.
Yep,
we all do this together.
Yeah,
we can. Well, look, it's been an absolute pleasure, man. I really enjoyed chatting to you guys, man. And I didn't know about the pallets. That's going to be my biggest takeaway.
That's
man.
the takeaway.
So,
that's how you're going to open your podcast every week.
I'm going to go out and find the blue and red pellets. That's
yeah. Just don't take them home with you.
No, that's it, man. Just before we wrap up, where should people go and follow you guys? What social media platforms are you active on?
Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Yep.
Instagram if you want to see more of us and our stupid shenanigans. Facebook if you like to know about our gigs, and Twitter if you want to hear us say some dumb shit.
Talk about COVID and Scott Morrison.
Yeah.
Yep. And obviously you'll be on streaming platforms as well.
Yes.
We are on Spotify mainly, Apple Music. I have to say that because Jordan's loves Apple Music. And basically everywhere else.
Yeah, honestly.
Literally anywhere in the world, if you have a streaming service, we will probably be on there.
I saw a list of the ones that we're a part of, and there was like 30 in there I did not even know
There's logos I don't even recognize.
Yeah. Like, what is Deezer?
Deezer's pretty big in America, I think.
Oh, Deezer's pretty big. Yeah, been around. It's been around for a long time.
It's been around a while.
We're on Tidal as well.
We're on Tidal.
Was that the high fidelity one? Tidal?
But no idea.
Yeah, I don't know.
We don't know
I only know about
like.
it
I know
because
that'd be cool.
Know what it looks no.
It's like basically the stream WAVs.
Tidal, isn't that Kanye's thing?
I have no idea.
Or what is that called?
I think it might be Kanye, but I know Jay-Z was one of the first people to have his
or maybe it was
Jay-Z
or something. I think it was one of those guys. But I'm pretty sure it's Tidal. Again, I'm not sure.
Yeah, because I remember he dropped an album on there. And it was only on there, and I think that was a kind of a marketing move to push people to hit up Tidal. If you want to hear the new Jay-Z album, you can only get it on Tidal.
Right.
It was something like that, or it was Kanye who did it. It was one of those two who did it because they had such a huge reach.
I'm pretty sure it's Kanye. Yeah. But anyway, it doesn't matter. You can obviously look
smart tactic.
Oh,
get people on your platform.
100%. But that's kind of a fun thing. Like when you're looking at some of those high end, like really top tier artists, like regardless of genre and stuff, like they make the vast majority of their money through other avenues.
Yeah.
So it's actually not from the music. It'd be like either sponsorships or advertising or marketing or having other businesses.
Yeah. Ollie Sykes only made money through Drop Dead Fashion. Bring Me the Horizon was signed to such a horrible contract that they made no money up until after There Is a Hell. I think that's when they started to make money, but beforehand it was just Drop Dead that he was getting his money from, which is crazy because they were huge.
Well, that's the same as like a lot of sports stars.
Yeah,
are the same. They make like crazy amount of money on advertising, like sponsorships and stuff.
Oh God, yeah.
Maybe that's something to look into for you guys, man. Just go out and get the Mesa Boogie deal, as we were talking about on the video, man.
Oh, that'd be nice.
It would be.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Really appreciate it, and all the best.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Done.